We are getting really close to knocking on the door to 2025, and considering this will more than likely be my last video for the year, I wanted to use this video to look back and see how my portfolio did when it comes to dividends for the month of December, and more importantly, how it's done for the entire year of 2024. So, for the very last time this year, before we get started, make sure you leave a comment below and let me know how your portfolio did, not only for this month or how it's expected to do for this month, but how has it done for you for the entire year of 2024. And of course, we gotta start with all the checks that I've received or plan on receiving for the month of December. Starting with Kroger, I received 74 cents, and UPS sent me $1.92, followed by ExxonMobil that sent me $2.49, and Target sent me $5.43, which was my biggest check for the month of December. Home Depot with $2.29, then Microsoft with $1.10, Main Street Capital with $1.32, Realty Income with $2.35, Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF or STHD with $3.93, Coca-Cola with $1.65, Stag Industrial with 71 cents, McDonald's with $2.93, Hershey's with $2.90, Smurfit Westrock with 34 cents, iShares Semiconductor ETF with $1.23, Main Street Capital yet again with $1.62. This might be one of their quarterly special dividends, Nvidia with 25 cents, and to round it off, QYLD with $2.52. Now from the 18 checks that I received from this month, that put me at a total for December of $34.83, which happens to be the highest check that I have received this year, barely by like 2 cents. And that brings my grand total for 2024 at $331.32 made in dividends. And then for averaging, I averaged $27.61 every single month. And since we're finally done with the year, I also wanted to add something pretty cool and list off the top positions that paid me dividends for the entire year. Kind of gives me an idea of what type of investor I was in 2024 and maybe what type of investor I want to be for 2025. But when I look at this list, you'll see that Delek Logistics paid me the most at a little over $30 for the year, followed by Realty Income, and then a little below that, Main Street Capital. Delek Logistics makes sense. I had a bit of a challenge where I invested into that company maybe for 6 weeks in a row at $30 per week. It was a little ridiculous, but it's been a pretty decent company so far with dividend payouts, of course, as you can see, and growth altogether. Those are really amazing numbers, and it gets a lot more exciting, especially for someone like me that doesn't invest a lot, when I compare it to how I've done the previous year. So comparing December of this year to last year, I was paid $10.68 more than December of 2023. When I compare the entire year of 2024 to the entire year of 2023, I was paid $73.58 more this year, and in the averages, I averaged $6.13 more than 2023. So that's really cool things to see. Looking at present, comparing it to the past is always great, but one thing that also keeps me motivated is seeing what my potential is when it comes to dividends I can receive in the future. And lately, I've been comparing it to if I continue to invest $30 a week into my portfolio, and if I stopped investing and just kind of let dividend reinvestment play its part. So first, let's assume that I stopped investing and I just relied on DRIP to reinvest into itself. At this present moment, my portfolio will pay me $379 per year in dividends. Now, 5 years from now, it would pay me $532 a year, 10 years, $823 per year, and in 15 years, $1,303 per year. $1,300 in 15 years, not too bad. I'll be in my mid-40s, so that'll be pretty cool. But just adding $30 every single week makes a big difference. The present amount of $379 stays the same, but in 5 years from now, I would make $710 per year, 10 years, $1,362 per year, and in 15 years, $2,458 per year. So we're talking over $1,100 I would make per year in passive income starting 15 years from now, just by adding $30 every single week in my portfolio. And of course, the goal is to consistently increase that investment, that weekly investment, as I'm allowed to. So seeing this is something it's really cool. Now, I thought it was really fitting to kind of add this new category into this video. This is going to be something that I'm going to start tracking on a year-to-year basis. Of course, you're not going to hear me talk about it a lot, but as I'm starting to modify the different types of stocks and ETFs that I'm investing into, basically by focusing less on a super high dividend yield and focusing a bit more on high growth stocks that also happen to pay a dividend, I know that's also going to impact what my dividend yield is. and for the time being, how much I may get paid. I feel like for the long term, making these steps could have a huge impact on how much more I'm getting paid in dividends every single year, assuming that over the long term, the stocks and ETFs I have stay the same. So what I'm gonna start with this video, is tracking the percentage change of how much I'm getting paid in dividends year over year. And I officially tracked that starting with the very first full year of dividend investing that I had, which was back in 2020. So from 2020 to 2021, I had my biggest jump in my dividend payout. I made over 85.7% in 2021 in comparison to 2020. Then in 2021 and 22, my dividend yield or payout jumped up by 31 cents. Then from 22 to 23, my payout jumped up by 36 cents. And in 2023 up until this year, my payout jumped up just a little bit less, up to 28.5%. So again, that definitely makes sense with the changes that I'm making, but the goal is to hopefully see that 28.5% grow even more and more to 30%, 40%, 50% growth when it comes to dividend payouts on a year-to-year basis. But this is a little experiment I'm gonna keep up with, and we'll just have to see what happens. So that about wraps it up. This has been a really great year for me when it comes to dividend growth and overall profit growth, which all that I will discuss more at the very beginning of next year. That'll more than likely be my first video of 2025, so stay tuned. But if you're still watching this video, I just want to take the time for one to say thank you for staying at this point, but thank you in general for you guys sticking with me throughout this entire year. For the maybe few of you guys that have watched this channel over the past couple of years, you would have noticed I made a pretty dramatic shift back in December of 2023 when I finally decided just to focus specifically on dividend stock and ETF related videos, and that was a big shift for me. But I really appreciate you guys sticking along and watching my journey when it comes to dividend investing and sharing little pieces of your journey, because the goal at the end of the day for all of us is to grow together and to understand that even though there may be a lot of people that have a lot of money to invest every single day and every single week and may be comfortable with telling you guys about how to make $1,000 a day in dividends, even though that's great, there's still absolutely nothing wrong with investing what you have. And hopefully videos like this help you guys stay motivated. Of course, I have a lot more planned to make this channel a lot better for you guys when it comes to 2025. So hopefully you guys just stay tuned for that. But for the last time for this year, I appreciate you guys watching. And until next year or in a couple of weeks, take care.